Yo, better in the mic, it's the Croydon FC, the round table where the real heads be. Talking NFL, the game we adore, but from the touchdowns to the legends and so much more. That fucking guy, he's got the stats on lock, dropping knowledge on the field, watching every block. Back up, back and bleeding green, cheering loud and proud. In the sea of cheese, as he's standing out the crowd. I can't hear with the looks and the smarts, breaking down the plays, and he does it with heart. Then the South, solid like the line. His takes are heavy, his vision's divine. Week by week, we break the game down. From every big play to every new crown. Offense, defense, we cover it all. From the springtime drafts to the winner's last call. It's not just a podcast, it's a fan's lifeline. Connecting every moment from the vines to the shine.
Good morning, gentlemen. Crew NFC Roundtable, Week 17. How was your holiday? You guys always bring it every week. You have such enthusiasm. I appreciate it. I don't know what else to say. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. On the round table.
I was going to say thank you is enough.
So, Week 17 kicked off with a pillow, I guess. What is going on with Thursday night football?
Is it Thursday night football, or was it because of the teams that were playing?
I don't know. I mean, it almost seems like Thursday night football is just kind of pulled its Fonzie jump the shark moment for me. I mean, you've got average games at best. The teams don't get a week to install. You don't get time to film study. Your players don't have time to heal. They don't hit the tub. You figure the games are Sunday, Monday normally, right? So if you play on Monday, your players are off on Tuesday. Wednesday, you do your install. On Thursday, you're playing a game. How does that work? I mean, do you guys agree with me that it's time for the NFL to move on from Thursday night football?
Just like that.
What's your stance on?
Monday you do this, Tuesday you do this, Wednesday you do this, Thursday you play the game. It's kind of, especially in this particular case with the Bears losing 6-3, which is, like we mentioned, like a baseball score, you really don't have the time to be able to kind of do anything, I don't want to say trickery, but anything but a little bit more elaborate. You know, you're going to be very, very vanilla offense and defense, just simply because you don't have the time to be able to actually prepare for anything. You know, of course, you have, tapes and you have your game plans and things like that from, maybe a prior meeting, but you still just don't have that time to be able to actually prepare a little bit better, gooder. With that being said, I don't necessarily see the NFL ever going away from something like that, just simply because it's football. You maintain that, that every game, every day, every game kind of deal, which they're trying to do. They're trying to get into Europe. They're trying to get into, South America, the whole thing. I get it. And they might even increase to 20, 25, 30, 45 games, just like in basketball or something. It's just insane. But what are you going to do? That's the NFL. They want to be able to maintain their stance.
Yeah, it's just – look at it this way. You got high school football on Friday, college on Saturday. So during the NFL season or during the NCAA season, during the state football playoffs or whatnot, whatever, you do not have NFL being played on Saturday. You don't have NFL being played on Fridays. Once those games end, the NFL's quick to jump all over that. They're quick to get that game on Friday. They're quick to get that game on Saturday. My fear is this, is you're going to see them go from Thursday, Sunday, Monday, till we'll soon see a Wednesday game thrown in there. You'll soon see a Friday game. They already do Friday games, but you understand what I'm saying? They're going to slowly taper into every day of the week, right? And I don't know if that's something I don't know how you can sit on the side of player safety and push that agenda, push that out there. The NFL did not even sell the NFL package. The Thursday NFL football on Thursdays was resorted being put on NFL Network until they found a streaming service to take it. Fox didn't want it. NBC didn't want it. CBS didn't want it. ABC didn't want it. ESPN didn't want it. They were forced to put it on there themselves. That's got to tell you something. I don't know. I just think it's time to move on from Thursday night football.
Well, let's look at the more realistic thing now. Think about it. For example, like with my daily, job and stuff like that, I don't do a whole lot physically, But let's say, for example, you do have like a more physically, demanding type of job. You can't really stay up until 10, 11, 12. Not when you have to be up at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. That's just insane. So, you're missing half of your fan base right there just simply because of work obligations. Family,
Yeah,
whatever the case is. You got to take your kids to school, whatever the case is. You can't do that.
I don't think the NFL thinks that way. I think the NFL thinks we're putting a product out there, it's going to be watched.
Yeah, but and it's more apt. And I don't know if it's just nice because you have like the installed, for college teams and things like that. You absolutely would see that for college teams. You'd probably end up watching that. But for NFL, again, it's kind of one of those things. It's a luxury almost. Whereas your college team is like you're either an alma mater or you just grew up watching them and stuff like that. That's like an obligation. That's what you're supposed to do. Like look at little Rudy. But it's kind of one of those things. Is it going to change? No.
When you're right, you're right. I mean, people agree with you and you're right.
And think about this. Let's say you have a team that's actually not necessarily, up to par. I'm not mentioning any names, Cowboys.
Bears.
But would you would you want to see a game that, where potentially your team is going to end up losing again? Tragically, I ended up watching the majority of that game. Yeah. You could do like, I don't know, a safety, run back a blocked field goal, whatever the case is, to get 2 points here, 1 point here, half a point here, 6-3. That's just depressing.
It's
That's depressing.
what's sad is the Bears are in all these one-score games. And they have a chance. They make their fans think that they have a chance every week.
You have to admit one thing, though. You have to admit one thing. You've probably seen more ways to lose than to win. Teams accidentally win. The Bears have the skill, the absolute and utter, just to find different ways to lose. Block field goals, it just goes on and on and on. That actually takes skill.
Fourth down, throw an interception. There's plenty of ways to lose, and the Bears seem to keep finding them. But
dude, I'm telling you right now with this Thursday night thing. I said it a couple of years ago. They should get rid of it. They're not going to, because the NFL and them like the money. They're still going to get people to watch. But my issue with it is, you can't prepare like you're supposed to. But with the NFLPA, they're not really out there hitting that much either. So, and doing all the different things. So, my thing is, you can't go over the film and be like, hey, we need to change this. This was on this play, we're going to change this route or whatever. When they show this defense, you really can't start going that depth into it. But yet, they're not practicing and hitting as much as they used to either, because the NFLPA. So it's just
hitting
not the NFL. It's doing everything in the film and how much time they can practice and everything else is what I'm.
It takes time to install. You install your offense, you install your defense. There's more into it than just handing someone a playbook and saying this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
It takes time for that. So you're basically running a generic vanilla offense against a generic vanilla defense. You might see a couple stunts here and there, but it's not going to be the elaborate, we're giving you all we got, we're giving you the best we can, because we got to come back next week and do this again.
Well,
the Detroit Lions look. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, the players said they didn't like it. They didn't like having Thursday night football coming off of Sunday, and then you're off Monday, and then you go to your walkthroughs and get your, over your stuff on Tuesday, and it's just, Wednesday, and then you're.
Well, Wednesday's travel day.
Yeah, Wednesday you got meetings in the morning, and then you're leaving there to go to the hotel and then go through stuff there. Like it's not enough time, and we're going to keep seeing scores like this and everything else if they don't figure.
Well, the scores weren't that bad. Realistically, the scores aren't bad for Thursday night football. Chargers, Broncos, 34-27. Cowboys, Giants, 27-20. I mean, Cowboys, Giants, 20-15. I don't know why you play the Giants on Thursday nights, but okay, whatever. You got Detroit 2 Thursday nights in a row. They beat the Bears 23-20, and then they beat the Packers 31-34 or 34-31. There are high-scoring games. That's what the NFL wants. They want the offense. They want fans involved. They want fans excited for the games, but Thursday night football does not feel like NFL football.
Well, the scores you're talking about very well may be the product of what we were saying about the vanilla offense and vanilla defense. So if you have a defense that you have to just play your typical whatever you're playing, nickel dime, whatever. So your offense, you do things. Just take Detroit for example. Detroit tends to actually throw the ball a little bit. They tend to do well with the running. The things that they do well are the things that they're going to do well. The defense in and of themselves, you can't really, well, are they going to throw deep here? Are they going to throw, flat? What are they going to do here? So we have to prepare for kind of anything with a very, very A-B type of a defense. That's where you get high-scoring games. You can either say one of two things, that the last Thursday game was either an incredibly strong defensive, minded struggle, or you could say that the offense, sputtered, to say the very least. Because the Bears did have their opportunities, and they were actually, moving the ball a little bit. Seattle was moving the ball, but they couldn't score. Maybe weather had a factor. Was it cold? Was it rainy? Was it snowy? Whatever the case might be.
But you can plan for that on a regular work week. On a regular game week, you plan for inclement weather. You plan for situation. You're down in distance. You put in all this throughout the week. You take so much away from the game with Thursday night football.
Yes, but when all the things you were talking about, Monday you're doing this, Tuesday you're doing this, Wednesday you're doing this, when do you have time to actually sit back and practice? And you remember, of course, back in high school, college, whatever the case might be, you remember every day you were hitting somebody. So you're basically conditioning your body to take those hits and to be able to absorb them accordingly, and you don't have that here, and that's why you have so many injuries, in my opinion.
That's the NFLPA doing that. And that's where I go back to what NFLPA and not blast them because I know what they're trying to do, but they're the ones that caused that. They're the ones that wanted that, not the constant hitting and going through all that stuff. That is from them, not just the NFL. So, I mean, that's where I come in too with it too. It's just not the NFL. The NFLPA's got to play a part in too. If the Thursday night stuff.
They got to pick their battles. That's the issue. You're only going to win so many battles in a union.
But think about it like this. I understand why they don't necessarily want to, hit every day, every practice, whatever the case is, the thought of CTE and, other types of, things. I get that, of course, but, you're still going to have to somehow condition your body to be able to take those hits. Take the Bears offensive line, for example. You have 5 players there and you have 15, 17
Nobody
different
wants to
types of
take
injuries.
the Bears offensive line. Nobody.
That's exactly it. You have one more injury, they're going to have to start using fullbacks or defensive linemen to be able to actually fill in, like legitimately.
But so yeah,
it's insane.
We're not going to get an answer here. I just wanted to bring this topic up to basically yell at you guys and let you guys yell back at me. But the Bears game really put a bad light on Thursday night football. I mean, it's on national now that they're talking, let's get rid of it. Let's do this. Let's do that. I wanted to do the research to see how many more injuries occurred on a game going from Thursday to that short following week or from that Sunday to that short Thursday game. I'm wondering if there are more injuries or if there aren't. If there aren't more injuries during that time frame, maybe your body, you're not hitting as hard as you did before, or maybe your body's just not recuperating fast enough or is recuperating faster than they're letting on. I don't know. I would love to see do the research, but I'm not going to do it because I'm lazy. But I would love to see someone do the research and see, what it actually lies, where the fact in that is, if it's more often injured due to Thursday night football, or if you see less injuries because the body is still, and they're not playing as reckless. But there are a few other games that matter. Do you have anything else you want to say about Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, Andy, before we move on?
I would say game-wise, Probably not. Again, you have just an unbelievable amount of injuries. Offensive line is just banged up like there's no tomorrow. Caleb has been, hit more times than anybody in the NFL. That should pretty much tell you, who, what, when, and where. He's still and I don't know if take Roma Zunze, for example, he and Caleb are still not quite on the same page. Maybe it's just a rookie thing, but if Zunze is supposed to be going further north and he's actually cutting it east and west, it's kind of one of those things. And you're looking at just about the season being over. You should have kind of figured this out.
Yeah,
That's fun.
It's a weird situation there because I thought Adunze would be a lot better, being that he was a rookie, being that they came in together. You figure they'd put that work in. You know what I mean? That chemistry should be there, and it's just not.
And that leads me to what I think is the actual reason is coaching, management, leadership, whatever you want to say. If you actually have a head coach, we'll take Mike Tomlin, for example, just because he's been, in Pittsburgh for over 1,000 years now. You have that continuity. You have this continuity that you know what you're getting when you walk into Pittsburgh. Look, he does this, 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 and this. Period. He'll call you out on your mistakes. If you're acting like an idiot, he'll call you out on that too. Your offensive coordinator, you know exactly what you're going to get. Look, we expect this, 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 and this. You have certain things like your core 5 plays that you're going to do, and it doesn't matter if you can do 100 plays. These 5 core plays are what we're going to do well. Now, unfortunately, with the Bears, head coaching, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams have been, iffy at best. You simply don't have that. And so some of the players, even though, pride-wise, I want to win. I'll wait. Even though you want to win, you still don't have that continuity with the coaching staff. And so that's where you get the Bears right now. Now, you even have a new name in the possible coaching carousel, Pete Carroll. I mean, do you see a 73-year-old Pete Carroll being the answer in Chicago?
I mean, Pete Carroll is probably the youngest 73-year-old I've ever seen in my life. Like,
that is true. I mean, you're 73.
He still interacts with the players like their same age. I mean, he'll run with them. He throws passes. He was out running routes in practice. He's a player's coach, I guess, but you're not going to sign him to a 10-year contract. You're not going to give him – I mean, maybe you sign him to a lifetime contract. You get 3 years out of it.
Wow. But anyway.
Maybe 3. If you're lucky.
You said like DJ Moore. DJ Moore came out and basically said, "Look, we would respect him in the locker room just simply because of what he's done in the past. He's won national championships. He even won in Seattle, ironically, with that team right there. But you also had Sherman and Beast Mode and all these other guys and stuff like that. And you had a Wilson who actually can throw the ball. But you just have all these different coaching and." Even Ben Johnson actually came out, and I guess he agreed to an interview with the Bears, and I guess in some interview he had said that, he's only going to be taking interviews of teams that he'd be willing to accept the position for. Yep. So if he doesn't take an interview with the Dallas Cowboys, that should pretty much tell you where he's at, in that sense. But that's just simply how it is the Bears and the coaching staff. Or, going back to Thursday night, you could do what the fans we're saying after the game, sell the team.
That's never going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either. Just simply because, if you've been in the league for 100 years under the same ownership, why would you change? That way you can go forward, 4-12 every year.
I mean,
fans still show up and go watch.
They're going to show up. They're never going to not show up.
That's the thing. If you're a profitable team, one of few profitable teams in the NFL, imagine how well you'll be doing if you do have a good team, or if you have a team that just barely misses the playoffs. 10-7, 11-6, and they get a wild card spot and they're in the playoffs. But everybody's saying the same thing. Ownership unfortunately has to change before you really see any sort of actual change in Chicago, simply because you have people who aren't football. They're not football people.
So you hire some football people. Ain't that why you got that guy from the Big Ten?
Kevin Warren, yeah. But I think there's 2 things wrong with him. Number 1, I think he wants Roger Goodell's spot. And number 2, even though he has experience getting other stadiums for cities and things like that, which is one of the reasons why they brought him in. I don't know if him and Ryan Poles aren't fully on the same page, and I think that also hurts the Bears a little bit. But it also depends on what the new incoming coach draft wise will want to see.
Yeah.
Because the Bears absolutely need offensive linemen. They need some defensive linemen, but they need offensive linemen. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
it's once again, we said 5 years ago they were on a 5-year plan. Well, time to hit that reset button. Let's give them 6. Not 6 years. I mean 6 more years, because it's a long ways off, Andy. I don't want to be the one to tell you that, but it's a long ways off where they're gonna be in.
wait till next year. Super Bowl champs.
All right. Speaking of next year, now we won't go to Dallas yet. There's one more game in the NFC North that actually matters, that has merit today, that is going to have some playoff implications either way. You got the Packers going to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Vikings are fairly healthy. You got their cornerback Murrow's out, but other than that, they're pretty much clean slate on the injury report. And then you go to Green Bay. I wish Brian was here because I really wanted to ask him what they're going to do with Watson. He's out again. Bullard's out. Hopper's out. Alexander's out. Diller. I mean, the list is unbelievable. But Christian Watson was supposed to be that threat. He was supposed to be there, take the top off the defense, give him the ball, and let him go work the threat in Green Bay. And he just has not fit the billing. He can't stay on the field. You can't impact the game from the tub, and that's all he's doing right now. Is he's injured every other week. He hasn't even finished one full season. But this game should be good. Minnesota's at home, hosting Green Bay. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, but I think Minnesota pulls this one out. I give them like 6.5 personally. But,
yeah, absolutely. So Green Bay has the opportunity to be able to actually, make some waves, because we were talking, off air how, you could potentially have, and unfortunately, in this particular case, you have 3 out of the 4 teams in the North who are actually playoff bound.
one of these things is not like the other. One of these things.
At least you're not doing like the opposite one, opposite. But
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, just smile and nod; it'll go away. But you have the Bears, who unfortunately, just barely missed the playoffs. Maybe a game, maybe by 2, but you could have Green Bay actually coming in and actually doing, potentially mixing it up on, for the first place, even though Detroit has the tiebreaker. So,
yeah, what's crazy is if Minnesota wins and the Lions both win, you got 2 teams with 14 wins in the same division. And then you have, if the Vikings lose, the Lions lose, and the Eagles win, you got 3 teams sitting in the playoffs with 13 wins, 3 losses. At this point, they still have another game to play. But, I mean, the NFC, the top of the NFC is thick. And then you got the rest of the NFC. Whereas the AFC, I think you got 1 or 2 teams that are going to be the team to watch. I think the NFC, anyone can take it right now. It's pretty much still up in the air. It's pretty much wide open, in my opinion.
Well, let me ask you this, like on a linear type of a thing. With as well as the Vikings are doing this year, quarterback-wise, offensively, when you have your rookie who, comes back next year, are you going to play him right away? Are you going to sit him?
I was talking to someone about this the other day. How do you tell Sam Darnold he's not good enough at this point? I mean, how do you do that? How do you take someone that took your team, that the whole idea was Kirk Cousins is going to go away. We're going to have this rookie. We're going to slowly build him into the game, and we'll be ready next year.
What rookie quarterback is that?
It's some bum from Michigan.
Oh.
So then you bring in Sam Darnold, who basically is the Baker Mayfield story rewritten in Minnesota. how do you tell Sam Darnold? I'm not a Darnold fan. I keep waiting for that shoe to fall, but it ain't falling. He's playing exceptionally well.
It could be a money thing. Sam Darnold's probably going to want to get paid at the end. And if you think about it like this, you got a rookie contract that's going to pay basically pennies. And you probably could potentially, that is, get the same type of output from your rookie quarterback, or I would call him a rookie, just because unfortunately he was injured pretty
he's
early.
Definitely a rookie next year.
So, I mean, the matter of fact is that injury year actually go against his contract?
Yes.
No.
I'm just saying, it might be one of those things also. But the point is, he has the potential to be able to do as well as Sam Darnold. Is it a scheme thing, or is it just an out-and-out play game?
If
who knows?
you cannot go to your locker room. Oh, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
That's what I was going to bring up. I don't see how they could go, okay, hey guys, you had a great year, we made the playoffs. Just say they, make it past the first round and they lose. Hey, we made it in the playoffs. We weren't supposed to do anything this year. Everybody predicted us to be where the Bears are at. And
nobody predicted
basically, we're going to go with this rookie quarterback. I don't see JJ starting anytime soon. But like you, I'm waiting for Sam Darnold, and
it's just not happening. It's unbelievable.
And it's like I don't know. It's like one of those things. Like you see, I mean, I've coached for so long. When you see somebody, the light bulb turn on that they finally get it, it's almost like that's what has happened. Like he got revived there, and like everything's coming to light. Like he understands everything. I mean, it helps a lot that you have like one of the number one receivers in the league, but I don't see how I think they're going to say it's going to be a competitive for the starting job, but I don't see McCarthy starting next year at all. If you do that, you're basically just telling everybody that we don't care about winning.
Well, that's my thing is you can't go into that locker room as a coach, as an owner. You can't go into the locker room with a player that's carried your offense this whole season, that stepped up when your starting quarterback went down with an injury. You can't go in there and be like, well, thanks for the 14 wins this year, but we're going to go with the kid. I mean, not any given Sunday. It's not a – wait, it might be a script.
Right.
It might be written already.
And just real quick, with Sean jumping on, just want to let Sean know Washington, they barely squeaked out a win against the Bears, barely. But anyway,
I don't see that happening. But also, if the Vikings do win that 14 games, they'll be basically the first team ever to win 14 games and not win their division. So,
right, it's crazy.
Got that going.
So. You could be a 14-win team and go to 9 and 10-7 Tampa or 10-7 Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Talking quarterback wise, now you remember, of course, this was just 5-6 years ago, whatever the case is. You would get yourself a rookie quarterback, and for the first year or two, he would just sit. And actually learn, learn how to do the cadence, learn how to do, everything that you learned how to do as a quarterback. Barely eked out, lucky. So, you think that he has an opportunity, McCarthy has an opportunity to be able to actually sit back and do the same thing? And would that be a plus or a negative?
Well, yeah, if McCarthy is actually a student of the game, he's learning a lot right now from Sam Darnold. Not only is he learning how to read a defense, how to prepare like a professional, how to get rid of the ball, how to go down when you're out and scrambling. But he's also learning that if you stick to something, you can persevere. That's what the Sam Darnold story is he didn't give up on himself. And right now he's playing outstanding football. He looks great. And I like I said, I'm waiting for it to fall. I'm waiting for the other shoe to fall, and it's just not happening. But enough Viking love. I love their colors. Can't stand the team. So
Right.
let's go to another team I can't stand. Their game actually matters a little bit today.
The Bucs?
Mike, you watch your mouth. So the Cowboys play today in Philadelphia in a game that actually matters. How's that make you feel right now?
Yeah, good. What made me feel good was last week.
I'm not talking about
Oh no! We suck again!
You might have to readjust that picture because that picture looks younger than real life.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. The Cowboys beat the Bucs last week. A dead horse. It just happened. And
What happened?
What happened? The Cowboys beat the Bucs.
I got buttons for days.
I know you do. I'm gonna keep on going. I'll derail the show. I'll keep doing this all. We got what? 28 minutes left. I'll keep doing it. But okay,
I wish.
they got the Eagles, the Cowboys going up and playing the Eagles today with, see,
You got your starting quarterback.
Cowboys decided to sit their wide receiver down for the year. CD Lamb is done.
Oh, but you still got that.
No.
No.
But they go in. But the one plus side is that Philadelphia does not have Jalen Hurts. He's going to be out. But after what I saw last week, that Kenny Pickett went off and helped him score 33 points. It's Jalen's more athletic, but is he that good, or is it assist?
Well, let's be fair. Let's be fair to Kenny Pickett. He does have two number one receivers he's throwing to.
Yeah, but
right. Like
I understand that.
Either one of those receivers are a number one on any other team.
Yeah, but see, the thing is too is like this week, Philadelphia has a very easy game plan against Dallas, and it's called give Saquon Barkley the ball as much as possible. Dallas is like one of the worst teams in the league with rushing, and people still decide, hey, we're going to go try to throw on them.
Yeah,
all the time.
I saw the game. We're not going to talk about it.
And it's just not last week. It's been going on all season. But then when the teams are like, hey, if we run on them, we can win games. And that's how Dallas lost 8 games, basically, because people just ran on them. And I understand you got 2 number one wide receivers, but at the same point.
Oh, yeah, they got one of the best triangles in the league right there. Without question.
The triangle offense. We'll go back to the old 90s Bulls.
There you go.
I don't. Even with Dallas has always had for the past few years had very good corners, backup corners. They get burned every once in a while, but I do think that if they run the ball, Philly wins this game to keep in the hunt of they have to win regardless of what happens.
So is Dallas motivated because it's Philadelphia? They have a chance to put a chink in their armor, knock them down a peg, or is this just let's get this game over with? We got our tickets booked to Hawaii, wherever we're going on vacation.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know what's going on down there anymore, dude. I mean, 1 week we got an owner screaming about how we're terrible, and the next week we win a game, knock ourselves out of a top 10 draft pick, and he's super excited. I mean, I don't get it. It's getting ridiculous. With
you got McCarthy.
Yeah, we do.
He's keeping his job.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He will be your coach next year. Yep, 100%.
After what I saw last week, that's what I texted Brian. I go, well, he's not leaving this year.
That was,
and he's not.
The
I
players
mean,
obviously haven't given up on him, Mike. I mean, seriously.
well, I mean, and everybody, I keep on hearing, well, he's gone 3 years at 12-5. They say he has one losing season. Is that enough to fire a coach? Yeah, in Dallas it is, and it's been proven because Jerry Jones has done it before.
Yeah, but that's why you're still watching
Jerry,
VHS of your Super Bowl win.
Yeah, and Jerry Jones got rid of a Super Bowl winning coach just because he didn't like him. So
But
I guess
that's what I'm saying. You've got to change that.
Owner
That's
likes
got to
you.
change.
Yeah, owner likes you. You're good. But I've been saying it for years. Nobody listens.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you probably call and talk to him every day, so I don't know why he's not listening to you.
No. I wish I had his number.
Yeah, but he only has a number for the GM, not for the owner.
Yeah.
It'd be Bart Simpson calling Mo Sislak every day.
So you honestly don't think Dallas has a shot this game?
Look, it's a rivalry game. It is, and out of all teams in the NFC East, I'd hate the Philadelphia Eagles the most. Basically because they're fans more than anything.
Yeah.
Try to say that we're bad, but they're just as bad. LA fans are bad, but I'm not a big fan of the Eagles. I like certain players, but I don't know what they expect from Dallas. Like, are they going to?
I can't. Like, I said the same thing about them playing Tampa. If Tampa would have ran the ball, they'd have destroyed. Tampa started running the ball in the third quarter, and they were unstoppable. Mm-hmm. But if Philadelphia just goes into this game and gives the ball to Barkley, I don't know how Dallas pulls this off. I want them to. I just don't know how they do it.
I hope Kenny Pickett throws the ball up. That's how Dallas has a chance to win it, is if they start throwing the ball. But I mean, it's not. It's funny, but that's exactly what's going to happen. So, my season's been done with the Cowboys like 3 weeks ago. Like
3 weeks ago, I think we can go back to like week 2.
Week 2 was it week 2?
That's when the sky started falling. I think.
Yeah, last week I had fun because because it was you. But other than that, it had nothing to do with anything else but just you.
Right
especially getting text, and I'm not even watching, and I'm getting text, and I already know what's happening.
It was awful. It was an awful experience. I hated that I was off the next day, so I could stay up to watch it. Because if I have to work, I get up too early. I go to bed, but I had to stay up and watch that entire damn game. Mm-hmm. Not a happy camper. But anyway, let's quit talking about teams that aren't in the playoffs. So
whatever. We'll just cover this one real quick, just to get it out there so I can cover all my teams. The Colts are playing the Giants. Yeah, that game.
And Richardson's out, so it might actually be a game.
But it might actually be a game. And, everybody's hyped up down here because there's still a chance they're in the playoff hunt. But, okay, that's not going to happen. So that game's pretty much null and void with the Colts and the Giants. And I said it. And I'm going to get a lot of heat down here for that. But let's move on to the Falcons and Commanders game.
There we go. That's where I wanted to go.
I know you did, but I wanted to change it up just to mess with you a little bit. And I don't really want to talk about the Commanders too much. Just because, I like to mess with Sean now. But I don't see, like, the injury report for Washington again.
It's thick.
Like, all year it's been like, one guy, 2 guys, 3 guys, 1 guy. And then they get to the end of the season, and it's like, oh, here's our list that we forgot to give you guys the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, it's bad too. You got Lattimore who's still out, Brown's out, Najee's out, Olsen's out, Wiley's out, and then you look at the Falcons, and their 2 corners are out, but that's it.
Yeah.
So,
and then they got watching the game last week. As much as I know you don't like talking about the Falcons and, them starting that rookie quarterback last week. I think a lot of it, we kind of brought it up that he loves going to the tight end, and we asked about what Kyle Pitts would do, and we found out he does nothing.
Yeah, he's
balls hitting him in the hands. I mean, I think the Falcons need to let that one go. And the Falcons have a shot this game. I think a little bit of a shot, not much. But
no, see, I don't know. I think Atlanta can actually put it to them this week, and I don't want that to happen. But this injury report for the Commanders, Commodores, whatever, it upsets me being a Bucs fan. But Jaden's going to have to play the game of his life against a really, really good Falcons secondary. Very opportunistic. They take the ball away when it's there. I mean, they ball hawking defense. Simmons is one of the best in the game, and you can't overlook that. Their secondary is definitely the best in the NFC South. Their safety combination might be the best in the league. If Penix can play within himself, they have a shot. I really think the Falcons have a shot this game. I know Sean don't want to hear that, but it is what it is.
It's saying that Penix actually has a pretty decent and pretty accurate long ball. So as long as they can get behind the secondary, they should be good to go.
Yeah, I think you got to make him move. I mean, Penix is a mobile quarterback, but he's not a mobile quarterback in the sense that we're used to seeing. Like, he's not going to take the ball and go. He's going to look to make the play down the field. Sean asked a question. Go ahead, Andy. I'm sorry.
He's no Caleb Williams.
He's definitely not. So, Sean asked, did the Commanders get a lemon in Marshawn Lattimore?
No. I think he's just hurt.
Yes and no, because he's often hurt. When he's in, he's a shutdown corner. He's going to take half the field away. He's going to get in the opposition's head. He's going to be that dude. But once again, you can impact the game from the tub. So, yes and no. If you make the playoffs and he's healthy come playoffs, you're going to get one of the best corners in the league with very little mileage on those tires right now.
Well, even with that, I think, him being down where he was at, I think he did a lot for that team. I think more than he should have, and that's why he got hurt. I think here he won't have to. So if he gets healthy, I don't see him getting hurt as much as he did down in New Orleans.
Yeah,
but
he's like I said, he's just got to get out of the tub.
I think the game for Washington is stop the run, make sure they stop Bijan Robinson, and for the Commanders, hopefully Phoenix will throw the ball to Pitt as much as possible. After watching that, I kind of got to watch that a little bit, and oh my Lord, I didn't think it was as bad as we ever talked about. I mean, that was bad.
He's terrible. I mean, watching him play, he was supposed to be the next Anthony Gonzalez, just not.
Balls hitting off his hands. I mean, Washington has to win this game. That's always fun when Tampa loses. But I think Washington has to win this game, and then next week they need to win out is what they need to do. I think basically what's going to.
If Washington wins today, they might break the Falcons. If the Falcons win today, they're winning it out. They're going to the playoffs. I think this is the game that keeps Atlanta in the playoffs or takes them completely out of the playoffs. Having said that, there's another game that has major implications for me personally, as well as the NFC South. And we got the Bucs and the Panthers. Because let's not talk about the Saints and the Raiders. Like, literally, nobody wants to talk about the Saints.
I do.
And five less people want to talk about the Raiders. So
I want to talk about the Raiders and the Saints.
This is a Thursday night football game, Saints Raiders. That's what we're getting. We don't want to put this game on any other night of the week. Let's put it here, and maybe people will watch because it's the only game on TV. That's what we're getting. Give us a real football game on Thursday night football. Anyway, Panthers at Tampa. Bucs are favored by 8.5. Seems very high to me. You win a game in a fluky overtime, and then you're magically favored by over a touchdown.
Let's go Panthers.
Vegas is trying to move some money there. But anyway, can the Panthers play the spoiler for the Bucs? That seems about right. I mean, Canales being the Bucs' former OC, that looks like what it would be. I mean, script is written. There you have it. But
Panthers by touchdown.
Panthers come in without Josie Jewell, their starting inside linebacker. He leads their front seven in tackles. He had a big sack against the Bucs in the last meeting, which changed the momentum of that game. You also got Smith Wade out with a chest and an illness. Harvey and Clowney are both questionable. Jay Seahorn, I don't know what he's asking. Will the Carolina Panthers be better next year? 100% yes. I'll go into that in a minute. But Jay Seahorn is doubtful with a hip injury. So you've got Mike Evans, who's averaging over 100 yards the last 3 games against the Carolina Panthers. He needs 181 yards to hit his 1,000 yards receiving. Bucs fans, I don't think he's going to go off this week like you want him to. I think the Bucs have to run the ball. You got Carolina without one of their best defensive players in the center of that defense. You run to set up the pass. You get a heavy dose of Bucky Irving and get that ball running. That's my opinion.
Like they should have done last week. Like they should have done last week and they didn't do it. Uh-oh, he's having his fits again.
Yeah, sorry. This cold's kicking my butt.
You lost to the Cowboys. You're going to lose to the Panthers this week.
Carolina Panthers will be better next year. And the answer to that question is yes. You got Michael Penix Jr. is going to give you a whole new dimension to your offense. You got Hubbard, who is now not going to be looking over his shoulder because that knee injury is going to keep can't think of the guy's name, your rookie running back out of the fold again for another year. So it's going to be all Hubbard going forward. J.C. Horn's a great corner. You're going to have a high draft pick because you didn't trade it to the Bears so they could waste their draft picks and ruin everybody's life and future. I think Carolina is going to be significantly better next year. I think NFC South overall will be better next year. I think the Saints are still going to be in a full-term rebuild mode. They're not going to be the competitive Saints that we've seen in the past. It's going to take some time. But
I think we need to I think we need to come up with another little thing because everything that you say about with the Panthers or with the Bucs and everything like that always comes back to the Bears, like you jelly. So we're gonna have to come up with another thing like that. Everybody knows that the Bucs are probably gonna end up pulling this one out. Let's just move on because nobody wants to hear about the Bucs.
Anyway,
let's go back to the Bears.
We're still gonna hear about how
the Bucs.
If the teams in the South do this, they'll be the best division ever. It's every year, and then you got like.
I don't think I've ever said that South's the best division. That never came out of my mouth.
You act like it when you say if they do this, the South will be strong again. Like,
let's look at the last time
from Alabama.
Let's look at the last teams in the NFC to win a Super Bowl.
Bears.
Bucs. Are the Bucs there? Yes, Bucs are there. Are the Cowboys there? Are the Cowboys? No, Cowboys. Bears? No.
How do you want those buttons quick?
No.
What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? What did you do last week?
Anyway, Bucs going to be without K. Dotton, Sterling Shepard, and Antoine Winfield Jr. They did just put Christian Izzian on the IR. However, they did bring back Shaq Barrett. He will be on the 53-man roster. They need to have him on the roster just in case they do make the playoffs so that he can get into the playoff roster.
See, that actually, unfortunately, I do have to actually continue on with the Bucs. But actually, that does bring up a question. Do you think with the team that they have right now, that they're fielding today, do you think they have an opportunity to be able to go deep into the playoffs?
Do they have an opportunity to go deep in the playoffs? I think the Bucs getting a home game, because that's the only way they're going to make the playoffs, is to win the division. I mean, there are other ways to do it, but it's not going to happen. So you got, let's say, Minnesota coming to Tampa, if that's the case. I'm not sure. I haven't done all the bells, whistles, yo-yos, and a duck, but they can beat Minnesota at home. You got a sound running game. You've got solid special teams. And I think I'm going to have to say it again, Mike. Flawless design, baby. The wheel continues to roll due to flawless design. Running the ball, controlling the clock, controlling field position, and dictating the pace of the game is how you win the game in the playoffs.
It's more like the wheels on the bus go round and round with you guys.
Hey, that's how you do it. I'm serious. We got Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving should be in the consideration for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
There's no way.
Hit 1,000 yards. Didn't take the bulk load of the snaps till well after the halfway point in the season. He will hit 1,000 yards. He needs 80 yards to hit 1,000. Without injury, he gets that. What other player?
Even if they did have a home game.
What's that?
Even if they did have a home game, I don't see, especially the team that you picked, Minnesota, I don't necessarily see them actually being able to overcome, if anything, not the offensive juggernaut, which is, Minnesota, oddly enough, but then the defense too. Their secondary, the Minnesota secondary, is pretty good.
It's phenomenal. That's why you run the ball. And
that's why they're not going to be able to do anything, because you have that front four for Minnesota that actually does pretty good too. So that's what makes them, a 13-14 win team.
Let's change gears real quick. If you're a playoff team and you have a home game, which team would you want to face? It's going to be Washington, Philadelphia, Green Bay, or Minnesota or Detroit.
Now, it's kind of interesting.
You're going to be at home.
That's an interesting little scenario, because you got to think that, maybe if you want to go through the hardest route, everything else will be easy. But then you have the opportunity of actually losing that first game. I would probably say, if anything, probably going to the Bucs. You might match up a little bit better with the Bucs as far as their offense and your defense.
What team, like say any team in the NFL right now, you're hosting the game. You got to play one of those teams. What team are you going to get?
Washington, just because of injuries.
I'm thinking Philadelphia right now.
No, it's either the Bucs or Washington.
I mean,
it's possible,
but that offense is unproven.
But even though we talked about this, also you got to be thinking that even though Detroit has an immense amount of actual injured reserve players, they still win. So you have to take them into contention too. Either they're a home game or an away game. That's going to be a team that it's going to be very difficult to beat them, even with their injuries.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought we'd throw that out there. We got pick six, but Andy, you didn't get yours in, so you're going to do yours now on the fly. Are we going to not include you this week and give you the 0 that you normally get anyway?
I'll take the Chiefs, the Ravens.
Not doing anything yet. Shut your face.
Chargers. Am I in the right week? Hold on. Let me make sure I'm in the right week.
I had to play the whole thing, Mike, to give Andy time to find out if he had his right week.
See what he was already going Thursday night, Saturday. Everybody that won. He was already starting on the way down.
Well, you'll be busting me out. I'm already low down the total poll here.
Anyway, Stout, you want to start us off?
Start us off. Nobody got blackjack last week. So I
Not
got,
even you.
I know, I got the Bills at 6, Cincinnati at 5, Washington at 4, Detroit at 3, and I did it just for you, and I'm doing it for the rest of the year. I'm taking the Bucs at 2 and Dallas at 1 because every time I take the Bucs lose.
Yeah, nobody likes you,
to
Stout.
knock them out of the playoffs.
Nobody likes you. Not even Jesus.
That
I
is,
like
that is pretty
myself,
accurate.
so that's all I care about.
Brian has the Bills at 6, Lions at 5, Cincy at 4, Indy at 3 without Richardson, Tampa at 2, Green Bay at 1. You got yours ready yet, Andy? You want me to go?
Sure, I can go. What the heck? I'm definitely going to have to go with the Eagles over the Cowboys. I definitely have to say, and that's where it gets kind of interesting also, Bills over the Jets, Colts over the Giants. Kind of up in the air about this one. I was going to go with the Packers, but I think I'm going to have to stick with the Vikings. Vikings over the Packers, and if anything, we'll probably end up going with, I don't know, how is that, 5, 6, 9?
You need one more.
About, we'll go Detroit over the 49ers in San Fran.
So you have the
Bears,
Eagles,
so there
Bills,
you go.
Colts, Vikings, Lions, and Bears.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, he hasn't won blackjack all year, so it don't really matter what he picks this week. He ain't good.
And that's why nobody likes you.
Not even Jesus. So we have.
Listen, I'm the archangel of death, man. You don't even start with me.
I have the Bills at 6, Philly at 5, Washington at 4, the Rams at 3, Lions at 2, and your Tampa Bay Buccaneers holding it down at 1. So,
Yep, you're not gonna get it.
You gentlemen have any closing thoughts?
Oh, I got plenty of closing thoughts. Whew.
I got a lot. Stay off the railroad tracks. How's that? I think I closing thought.
Go ahead, Mike.
Choo-choo coming through. Get off track. Pretty simple. Stay away from the railroad tracks. Again, I can repeat it almost every year. Get off the railroad tracks.
And it seems like it's always come the holiday season. We get this message from you.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. People just need to reach out and talk to people.
Yep. Get off the tracks, man. We can't go anywhere.
Why are these trains always on the railroad track? Why aren't they on the roads?
I know, that's what I keep on saying. So I need to get my steering wheel back so I can turn the engine. Put it back
There you
on.
go.
All right. We have the Lions, Eagles, Vikings, and Packers all clinched this week or this season so far. Rams, Falcons, Commanders, Seahawks, and Bucs are still in the chase. Seahawks are not really in the chase. They got a 1% chance at going in. I'd like to thank my wife, your guys' wives, significant others, whatnot, whatever, families, for allowing us to be idiots 1 hour every week. It takes a lot more than an hour to do this idiocracy that we call a show. So we appreciate you guys. You guys got anything for me?
Yeah, that's the one thing. You said we're idiots for an hour. You know that's a lie. We're like, it's more than it's like 22 hours.
Don't get cute. Run the rock. That's it.